Hi, this is Samina Sheikh here on Zoom channel, and with me today I have Sundar's wife. I have to introduce her, the names also are so good, Sundar and Khushbu. So join me as I welcome Khushbu ma'am on your Zoom channel.
Thank you so much.
Lovely to have you. And the moment we saw your entry, it's so magnetic. Actually, we all got attracted. We were we were talking about it. Actually, we were like, oh my God, look at her, the presence. And I have to tell you, Sundar ki wife hona, ek director ki wife hona, how it has been the journey for you.
I met him when he became a director. So the journey, 30 years, we have been together. So the journey has been beautiful. And I always say it has, life has to be about roller coaster ride. Because अगर वो single line में हो जाता है तो बहुत boring हो जाता है. So life, 30 years with my husband has been roller coaster ups and downs. But it's a beautiful journey, I would say. And just 2 days down the line, we celebrate Silver Jubilee wedding anniversary of ours. So it's great to have someone as supportive and as understanding as Sundar as my husband.
So do I say this that the director's first eye was actually on you? Who actually got directed in his life permanently?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The
first
woman, he actually said, I love you. And he would want to, he proposed to a woman for the very first time and I accepted. So he actually keeps teasing me about it. He said, I couldn't even look at other women. You're the first woman I asked out and you said yes.
Yeah.
So I'm stuck with all my life. दूसरी लड़कियों को पलट के देखा तक नहीं है आज तक.
Wow.
So he doesn't have a choice.
He doesn't have a choice, but there was one point of time, and where you have also confessed that you really wanted him to, get married to someone else because you were having some, difficulties in the earlier stages and all. So if you could tell something about that, what made you take such a decision?
I think, that was a very emotional moment for both of us because when he proposed to me, it wasn't that I love you or I like you, can we be friends or let's be together and then 5 years down the line we'll see how it goes. I think the very first film he was directing, and I was already a star then. People had built a temple in my name. So, when he came and asked me, the first thing he said is, okay, tomorrow when we have kids, who will they look like? Will they look like you or me? And I was taken aback and I was like, excuse me. And he said, nahi, kal ko shaadi hogi apni, so jo bacche honge, so they will look like you or they will look like me. And I was like, and he had not even said, I love you to me.
Yeah.
He didn't even confess that he likes me. Nothing. Out of the blue, he came up with this. And I was like, are you proposing? And then he was like, oh, am I supposed to do all of that? I don't know. I said, okay, but yes, I would like to marry you. Will you marry me? It was later it came. And I don't know, there was, something very honest about the way he spoke to me, and he was talking about a family together. He was talking about children. He was talking about a future where we have a family together. And I also liked when he said children. He didn't say a child.
Yeah.
So we were looking at having lots of children. So I immediately said yes. And when I had my issues with my uterus, and the doctor said that probably I may not be able to conceive. So I didn't want to deprive him of that because he was really looking forward to having a family and having children. So that's when I said, no, I think you should get married to somebody else because if I can't give children, your dreams will just remain a dream. And he said, no, I think my dreams are with you, and children or no children, you're there for me, I'm there for you. So we are going to be together, irrespective whether we have children or not. And I think that has kept us together all these years, and we have 2 beautiful girls now.
Touch wood, and that's what brings this important topic is about Women's Day and 3 powerful women, all together in one house. How things are, how the equations are. Daughters become friends after one point of time.
Yeah, to the mothers, yes. With the father, they always have a barrier in between where mother becomes the postman duty. Something has to go to the father, then it has to go, you go and tell appa.
Yeah.
कुछ भी बात होती है तो आप बोलो, आप पहले अप्पा को बता दो, फिर हम आएंगे. So you become the in-between messenger for children, especially with the girls, for the daughters and the father. But everything said and done, the girls will remain girls, father's babies. So I take a back seat when 3 of them come together. I take a back seat. You wake them up at 2 in the morning and you ask them, you love appa more, you love amma more. They both will say appa. Even without blinking, even without thinking, even for a moment, they will say appa. You ask them any time who's more important, appa or amma? It's appa. So that is how they are, father's babies. So you can't help it. But I think women power, I would say Sundar doesn't have a choice because he is one man at home, myself, 2 girls, his mom, my mom, his sisters, sisters' daughters. So, it's like one guy in between surrounded by women. So there's a lot of women power at home, and empowerment comes from home. So today when he makes films or he's talking about women being given equality and gender equality, I think it basically comes because he's with women, and to at least I can handle it, I can mellow down a bit. But my girls are like very, very strong-headed women.
Yeah.
So they are like an pakka feminist.
Yeah.
So nothing works with them. It's their way or no other way.
Wow.
And I think, that sobers him down. And even if he thinks that he's doing the right thing, they're like, Appa, wait, this is the way it has to go. So, I think he understands that. And yes, he's a strict father. More than strict father, I would say that he's an extremely protective father. And I think it's important that there are certain ways where it has to be done. And otherwise, perfect.
And as we talk about this topic, and it's a very important topic, we talk about women empowerment. We're talking about like, don't, gender, do this differentiation all the time. Rather, take us as, one of them. Of course, we will have our own feminine energies. We cannot be like, as masculine as how men are.
Yes.
But, it had taken a lot of, years for women to, fight this out. And as we talk about that, when I say that, you have been an actress, you have seen the stardom. The struggles are very different versus now they can have, their say in certain things. How things were for you before and versus now what you see, what do you have to say on that? The change do you see?
I really get surprised when people talk about the changes, because when I started working in South Indian cinema in '86, so you see it's been 39 years in South cinema. Or overall, when you talk about cinema, I was a child actor. I don't remember in my childhood, but when I became an adult actor, I started playing the lead roles. I've never seen this disparity. Or probably I haven't thought that my name has to come before the actor. For me, doing my work the way I worked, being sincere and absolutely doing with 200% of professionalism towards my work, I think that is how I have been. I worship my work. So I've not seen this kind of a disparity what people talk about, कि ऐसा था, वैसा था. When I grew up, and ऐसा कब था? I never faced anything like that. I have worked with actors who would not even look at me as a woman. They would say, "अरे यार, अपना दोस्त है, आजा बैठ जा," and share these jokes. And I'm like, guys, there's a woman in between. And they're like, okay, कहाँ है? लड़की है बीच में, किधर है? So I have never felt that difference. I have never felt कि women are looked differently. Or probably I was very lucky with the atmosphere I was in, or the kind of people I worked with. Probably I was one of the very, very lucky ones. But I think today, women are more stronger where they can voice their opinion. And there are times I feel that, there are some women who feel that it's fashionable to voice their opinion.
Yes.
You can be a rebel, but it has to be with a cause. You just can't be a rebel because you want to be seen and heard. Where at times I get to see that. But I think women, it's important that you voice it. And voice it immediately rather than waiting for years together and then voicing it. I think the best thing is honesty with yourself and speak your mind. Because still, if you have a problem, speak it out. Because till you do not speak out the problems, you'll never find a solution to it. And every problem has a solution. So I'm more than glad that women who very unfortunately go through these trying times or these difficult times and few very unfortunate circumstances, I'm glad that these women are speaking up, and they are setting a record where some men who still believe that hierarchy and patriarchy is the way to move forward, they are taking a backseat and they said, yeah, you cannot mess around with these women around. So I'm glad that these young girls are sending a message very loud and clear.
39 years in the industry.
In South.
In South, and in the South industry, itself, it's a long journey, I must say that. Like, a lot of experiences, I must say that, a lot of, acting, and, of course, like, were there occasions where you also faced rejections in a way where you really didn't expect out of it?
Absolutely. I think I faced a lot of rejections when I started in South. There was a director who didn't want to cast me, and the producer was very keen that saying that no, she would be very apt for the role, and he said I have a very crooked nose. So I keep teasing that director even today, and after that of course I did a couple of films with him, and I said I still don't have I'm trying to figure out where do I have a crooked nose. He said forget it, that was a different story, because I believe he had a pressure from the hero to cast another heroine. So he said no, I had my apprehensions, and then I had my pressures from the other side. I said forget it. But then there was a time when I suddenly found myself out of 5 films in a row, and I was sitting at home for a year and a half. And here I have my diary which is completely full for the next year and a half, and out of the blue one morning I wake up and I find myself out of these 5 big films. So I wake up in the morning and there are 2 films which I have to complete, but there are 5 new films which I have to start, and I'm out of all the 5 films. So I was sitting at home for a year and a half, and this is after I reached a peak of my career. So I think we all face these kind of ups and downs, but these are the times which actually teaches you a lot of lessons, that how to handle the pressures, and nothing is permanent. Your success, the money, the power, nothing is permanent. You suddenly will find yourself at the rock bottom, and how do you handle yourself? And I always say that it's up to you whether you take the positive energy from it or you take the negative energy from it. I very fortunately took the positive energy out of it.
Ma'am, last 2 questions to you. The one being basically that acting itself is a very tough journey. Like recently Alia Bhatt said that being an actor is very difficult because you really don't know what is happening to you. The life gets haphazard, and it is very difficult. Do you feel that, touch wood, on the family side you have that strong support that you could manage the career on this side?
Absolutely. It's very, very important to have a partner who is understanding, who is adjusting, and who allows you to grow. Not many men can handle a situation where the wife is more successful than the man. For many, many years, people always looked up to my husband saying that, oh, that's Khushbu's husband. And he took it in his stride with a smile, because he said, my wife is far more famous than me, so it's perfectly fine. Not many men can take that in their stride and say that it's okay for my woman to be more successful, to be more known than me, more powerful than me. And I think I have been extremely fortunate in that sense, where I had a very understanding, very, very supportive husband. And I don't think in 30 years I've ever seen him telling me, don't do this. It's always his opinion. He would say that I think this wouldn't be right, but I leave it to you. The choice is yours. You have to take a choice. So I think you have to choose. So I think I have been very fortunate, and it's important for a woman actor to have a very supportive family background, because failing that, the pressures are too much, because we women, especially when we have a family, we always, the back of our mind, it's like we are in front of the camera, we finish the shot, and the minute we finish the shot, we come out, the first thing is to call up home and say, खाना खा लिया, सब ठीक है. If you have an aging mother-in-law, दवा ले ली, उन्होंने खाना खाया, your mother is there, you look after her, have the kids come back from school, have they finished their homework, what are they doing? So, and there are too many things which work in your mind. So the pressures are far more than what it is on a man. So I think it's important that, as an actor, you have a very supporting family background. Otherwise, it makes it very difficult.
And lastly, ma'am, I have to ask you that yes, Bollywood is one thing which has come to you. You have also spoken about that. We would like to know more about that. And if something is happening on that front for you.
No, I mean, very unfortunately, Bombay, many people feel that probably I'm not open to films. So let this be a platform to send a message clearly that I'm open to films. I'm looking forward to do something very interesting on OTT platforms, because that is one place where is giving a lot of space for women to explore the hidden talent of them. Women, probably this is how they have to be portrayed, they think, but then OTT platforms gives you a different perspective of it altogether. So I am really looking forward to do some very interesting Hindi films, and looking forward to do something very, very interesting in OTT platforms. like I have seen a lot of programs, like whether it comes to Delhi Crimes or Maharani, City of Dreams, or even what Darlings was about, or the kind of work Shefali does, or the kind of work Dimple Kapadia ji does. So I think, it's not, I'm not in a position where I would say, oh, I want to play a very holier than thou kind of a role. I said, no, but give me something which satisfies the actor in me, because I've passed that stage where I need to do films to be in the run, to do films to establish myself as an actor, or to make money, or to make sure that I have a career to look forward. I think I've reached a stage, very fortunately, where in these 40 years where I have a very secured background, financially, emotionally, very, very secured background. But I need a space, I need a platform where I can now say that I work because it satisfies me as an actor. That's it. So I hope and I really look forward that something interesting comes up.
And lastly, do we see a Sanjay Leela Bhansali kind of a movie happening to you? Since you
I would love to do something like Heeramandi.
Okay.
But again, Mr. Sanjay Leela Bhansali should think that I'm worth it doing something like that.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your lovely interview.
Thank you.
And looking forward to see more of your work. And thank you for giving this interview, because I really loved it. It was in depth. It had a lot of topics which we touched upon. Lovely chatting with you, ma'am.
Thank you very much.